Hello?
There
Hello?
we go, there we go, there we
Ah,
go.
here we go. Oh man, yeah. Good to be back. Holy crap, it's been a while. What a tournament, what a couple of games to do it with as well. What a wonderful assortment of players we have today, and how good it is to be here once again. Hello, chat. Good day. I am pumped for this day.
Does the classic Blade Master tier 2 creep still work? Because in the previous patch, the norm was you creep a little bit, you harass to keep the DK low, and then at tier 2 your harass phase is over, you meet up with the Shadow Hunter, you go for one creep, hex the main target, push it somewhere where you can creep it with ease. But now this hex could be interrupted by the new or changed Wand of Negation, which has 4 charges now, and that might ruin the orcs mid-game if that's your plan.
Yeah, absolutely. With the 4 charges, you really have a lot of answers to the Shadowhunter and the early hex danger that can oftentimes be very painful for the undead before they have destroyers. But basically, when you buy that wand, then you get 4 charges exactly. That means even if the Shadowhunter spends all of his mana trying to hunt you down, trying to chase you down, you can dispel all of it. Of course, it comes at a cost, and it doesn't work if it's on the DK, but yeah, this is possibly a great counter, and if it's utilized well, it might even make Wyvern play a lot less viable. And speaking of less viable Wyvern play, we have a Barracks and a War Mill. Looks like Headhunters.
Okay, I've been very critical of this. I still think Ghouls and Dark Ranger should stop this and completely annihilate it late game. Blade Master almost getting a Ghoul here. So I'm curious what Lin is cooking up, man. I don't doubt the War Chief. Okay, I was doubting him in the Dolphin Cup. I'm not doubting him here. His group stage was good. Yesterday was phenomenal. Can we smell what the War Chief is cooking?
So far, so good, I would say. DK still no level 2. Of course, the prime target here. The priority will be to prevent level 3 Death Knight, and that is all working pretty well so far. Every little last hit matters. DK, though, with the coil, gets that one for himself. Item as well. Nothing too crazy so far. Rings and Circlet and Gauntlet of Ogre Strength. And we are teching up slowly here to tier 2.
Right on. Crypt is coming for slaughterhouses. Headhunters are there. Very important for Happy to see this. So he's not falling into a trap of blindly going whatever anti-Wyvern play. Is he?
EC Torn Totem. Oh!
Oh!
What is this?
Oh, is he expanding again on tier 2? But with a totem? Usually you do this with a bestiary. Also, Blade Master TC.
A player's forces are
yeah. He's going tier 3. No tier 2 expansion. If you can manage to stay alive and not die to the ghoul push and keep creeping, get TC level 3, that level 2 stomp, as we all know, is great against the ghouls. Okay. And Torrents already, even before the patch, they were good against ghouls, but then the undeads normally would attack and kill everything except for the Torrents. And a Lodge! Torrent Totem and Spirit Lodge. Okay, Lin is cooking over here.
All right, now I was excited about this series before. Now I'm omega excited about this. Let's see how this creep goes. So far, Happy not far away from level 3, but he has to abandon the creep spot. Doesn't want to lose more HP. Seems like you're like a second ahead of me. I'm at 533, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38.
Okay.
I should be synced up now. I want to spoil the beautiful viewers out there. So, yeah, he is playing mass casters. So, Walkers, Witch Doctors, Tauren?
Player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, I am very curious to find out as well. I have no predictions to make so far.
No.
This is the first time I see a play like this. And when we see something so experimental, also so expensive, right? Let's keep the cost in mind. You go in tier 3, you want to get master training, you want to get Torrents probably as well. When you have walkers and training already, Torrents are just so potentially amazing. You also want to get triple hero. This all costs a lot of cheddar, man. And the danger is, when Happy hits that swift tier 3 timing that we've seen so many times by him before, the Frenzy Ghoul madness, can Lin stay alive?
Yeah, Frenzy Ghoul Madness as well as Destroyer pushes. He started to do that a little bit. And I thought it's a throwback to like 2009 when undeads were so desperate and couldn't do anything about it, like good old Hazuops times. And that might still be a thing because we don't have cement on these burrows. Happy sees, oh, you still didn't go for that upgrade? That's a vulnerability. But Happy is also quite a bit far away from tier 3. No Destroyer upgrade to be seen yet. And Lin has some time to prep.
Blade Master is revealed. Not really any chance of stealing big creeps here. Happy so far. Not the best items, by the way. Looking at the Lich, damage-wise, that's not much. That's good news for the Orc.
Right on. He can still get the orb. There's still quite some camps, especially the middle. It's very, very juicy here. TC with Storm Blade also not level 3 just yet. But the Walker update is done. We are indeed going Witch Doctors. We get the Berserker upgrade. I have never seen this combo before.
No Shadow Hunter yet. I wonder if he's going to skip him and rely on Doctors maybe for healing. That might make sense on paper. It has never worked when we've seen it in reality. But hey, they're magic immune now. That's kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. You can't devour them with Destroyers anymore. You have to... Oh, yeah, let's look for the steal and then talk about it more. DK secures it. Book of the Dead as well. Against Walkers, not that great. But yeah, they can't be devoured anymore. Ghouls should have a hard time attacking them. So you have to either use Lich or Dark Ranger. If you do it with the Lich, you take away the minus armor from Orb of Corruption. If you attack him with the Dark Ranger, there might not be a black arrow applied to the Headhunters. This might work.
Isn't that interesting? Okay. Has Happy faced this kind of a strat before? Is this just fresh out of the lab? Has this never been presented? Perhaps even on ladder? Lin has been known in the past to try strategies even if he didn't really practice them before. His understanding of the game is so great that he can just wing it sometimes like that. The theoretical scaling potential and ceiling of this Orc army is amazing. Like healing wards and torrents and walkers, perhaps with master training, but the Blade Master especially so far not that impressive, I would say.
Yeah, pretty underwhelming. Got a Claw now and a Circlet and an Orb of Lightning, which always procs against Destroyers for some reason, Blizzard. Could help. TC level 3 is probably most important. Happy lining up a push. Ghoul Destroyer is ready, but he's not going into the base because Lin is there, ready to fight, and so we pivot to the consumable camp and then maybe the rat camp. But Lin is also not allowing that, so... Oh, he dodges the dust. Still shows himself now. Easy camp for Happy. 3-2-2 and Scroll of the Beast.
Happy seems to be getting stronger little by little. Playing the mainly Ghoul army, which has been the standard against ground-based Orc forces for a long time. The Headhunters will be great targets for the Ghouls to pick off one by one. You mentioned the strength of the Dark Ranger earlier. I think she is the sole reason why Orc has been pivoting so heavily to Wyvern over the last year or two, because she's so strong against ground armies from Orc. But Lin is trying to play an honorable game. No mass Wyvern nonsense, but an actual ground army, and what an army it is. And how expensive it is, man. He got Master Training, he got Pulverize. Does he have Walker Master? Not yet, but I'm sure he's gonna get it. It seems like Lin needs a very long time until he's actually comfortable to fight.
I agree. The Dark Ranger, of course, great against Headhunters. Not so much against Tauren, I'd say, because Black Arrow takes a long time to activate with how beefy these guys are. I'm very curious about Lin's Tauren micro, because yesterday I've criticized Focus a little bit too over micro, because the attack wind-up takes so long for the Tauren. You see it, bong. And if you micro during the attack animation, there's no attack, right? So leave the Tauren be is, I guess, the thing, and don't control them in the fight too much.
Really nice item here for the TC. He finds the Unholy Aura. It is more move speed to make these Tauren even faster. They received, of course, big buffs over the last couple of patches. They now have resistant skin, which is huge, perhaps on this matchup, but in many others. But also they have higher move speed. They've had that for quite a while. And now the move speed on them is quite high indeed. It's a lot of build-up here. It's a lot of anticipation for what's going to happen once we get a fight, but we haven't gotten one yet.
True. We get the master upgrade yet for the walkers, and then of course we have to mention what chat has already mentioned. Black Arrow takes away the corpse from the Torrent. So if Black Arrow kills a Torrent, they can't be revived as they usually would. Takes away the big strength of the master upgrade. Expo now.
I would assume, though, that Torrents will be the last thing that gets focused here, considering that everything else is much easier to kill.
True. Especially the poor witch doctors. If they are in range of the Dark Ranger, that is.
Tiny Great Hall. Okay. Lin is going to throw down the gauntlet. He says, here it is. That's my win condition. You either come and do something about it, or I'm going to win, given enough time.
Ooh. Yeah. It's the Morpheus gesture from Matrix. Come at me. And why wouldn't he? The map is empty. There's nothing to creep anymore. There's no scaling. Maybe a little bit of shop control, but this map has 2 shops. So not that big of a deal. Double invuln for Lin as well. He saw many people, especially Night Elves, fall to Happy because of hero focus. And now we got Stasis Traps. And Happy has no shade. Usually he always has a shade, I would say. This time not the case.
It's a bit late.
Oh yeah, it's coming now.
Okay. Dude, this is gonna be... I've never seen a fight like this. This is also my first time ever I see the Sentry Wards with reduced vision. And about time they got that, dude. They were way too crazy for way too long.
Yeah, it feels like all your balance suggestions had this topic for the past 6 years or so. It seems very fair now. Happy engaging, Stasis Trap activated, only catching 1 ghoul, just as if Happy expected this play.
Yeah, this almost... What was that in StarCraft II? Where they had those Widow Mines and you send in 1 ghoul only to trigger them?
Yep.
It's almost looks reminiscent of that.
Poor ghoul. Sacrificial lamb for the greater good.
Yo, totems, dude, and a stomp in the middle. The TC and the Torrents trying to do AoE. We have a Scroll of the Beast in the back. It can't be dispelled. Heal Scroll coming through. Stasis Trap's going off. What's even going on here?
I have no clue, dude. Nova in the back is sick. Another Stasis Trap. Can he deal with the Destroyers is the big question. Looks like it. Disenchant rocking through. Army on the right, army on the left. DK in the middle of it all. Lich is not going too well, but also the TC needs an Info Potion. Silence! Runs away. All the ghouls are following. Come at me. Long range! Coil not enough, but the Nova finishes him off. Blade Master and Torrent side by side have to do it alone now. No tower to fortify this. What's the solution to the Destroyers now?
Blade Master, I guess, has to do it by himself. He's got the orb, but he has lost his important AoE hero, the TC. He's going to be dead for a while. He's got the supply lead, but this is where Happy can get a lot of kills with minimal losses.
Ooh, was that expansion too greedy? Should he have invested into army and attack himself? Peons buying time. TC is not back from the tavern. 80 seconds without the big cow. The Blade Master is not looking good. Level 4. Invo Potion to keep him safe for 7 more seconds. But it feels like Lin is missing the punch against the Destroyers. I got no clue what's going on, man. We got... Oh. An Ankh. Oh, not the Ankh. It's the Ancestral Spirit. Torrent, attack, and with Black Arrow, they shall never be back. Heal wards now. Super helpful. But it's a 52 food army. Lin got a couple of kills. The ground has mostly disappeared. He killed a lot of ghouls in the past minute and a half. And now... all you do is kill Destroyers, and Destroyers aren't too threatening anyway, because they don't have mana anymore.
Then trying to hold on for dear life. If the expansion falls, this game is not looking good for him. Blade Master has to buy time for the TC, but Happy's gonna get it. How much is gonna cost him to get the expansion here? So far, not much.
He has a town portal. These witch doctors, of course, utterly useless when the mana is gone. Not the big damage dealers. Going for the Dark Ranger. 162 critical strike. Again, a heal ward to the rescue. Can't attack it except with the Lich. Here we go. We still got walkers. The Dark Ranger looks very, very endangered here. How long to the TC? He's back now.
1 stomp only. Nova long range gets another kill. Do we have master training? Yes, we do. But no mana right now for the res.
51 food for Lin, of course not optimal. The expansion is gone. Did the TC die with an Invo potion?
Yep.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he did. Not pulling it fast enough. So healing now is free for the Orc. That's kind of nice. Oh, there's the res. Walker is back.
Well, to be fair, healing is also free for undead.
Psst, we don't talk about that.
And also mana, by the way. Just, you know, just saying. Ah, chat is saying the invul was transferred but was still on cooldown. I see, I see.
Ah, okay. Chat paying attention. Well done. The destroyers, though, seem hard to deal with here. The amount of piercing damage we have is not that much. 3 berserkers only, but look how fast they are.
Quite crazy. More heal wards, but so far Lin is only surviving. Thing is, Happy needs mana on the destroyers. Otherwise, they're kind of useless.
But you can see, when the wards are well placed, they can be kind of hard to take out.
Yeah.
This is going to be another thing for orcs to master these days. Ward micro. That's not something really they had to consider much in the past.
Well, I could just spam them and hope for the best, you know, fingers crossed like they do in FFA in 4 and 4, just put down 1 million and then it can't be attacked at some point. Lin wants to expand again. Another 600 gold gone.
Happy was banking for quite a while. He's got 1,100 gold ready to spend, but he missed the tiny. Blade was invis. He doesn't know about it right now, and the sentry ward's giving great vision still to Lin.
Usually you could send ghouls, but ghouls are all gone but 2. Happy muscling up to an 80 foot army, just poking, preventing a 3rd hero here. Otherwise, you know, that really doesn't do much, to be honest. 2 Tauren, 5 headhunters, 3 walkers. 8 of these units can't attack destroyers. That's really a bit problematic.
Very interesting, dude. Also, no upgrades on the orc army, which does make sense. The more casters you have as part of your army, the less cost efficient the normal upgrades from the war mill are. And of course, this is a lot of casters. The really cool thing about this army, I would say also, is you finally have an answer to skellies. If you have walkers alive and mana, then disenchant can be really good against them.
Right on. Also, Tauren really good with pulverize against skeletons. Also really good. J freaking Celerex with the 10 gifties. Let's go. Thank you, mate. We empty the shop for more invulns. We've seen hero focus in the first fight. Oh, Happy killed the little horsey here for 1 additional skeleton. Talk about min-maxing.
But the life well spent. Horse lives on as a skeleton. We'll see for how much longer. Happy with another destroyer chain morph we have seen. They have been hard to deal with, these destroyers, but I think this is going to be Happy's last go of it. If this push fails, seems like Lin should have this.
No tower, no burrow, no shop. Where
Forces are under attack.
are we going? The stasis trap gives vision, right? So he saw this. I don't know how much, actually. But the ghouls, yep, have been stunned. Here we go, everybody. Is that the final fight? TC being silenced, but still it's an epicenter. Destroyer going for walkers in the back. DK far forward because of that cloak of flames. Oh my god, there's so much damage. Destroyers, though.
Oh, stop! Bro, the stasis trap and the storm, so much stun, but there's still many destroyers in the air. The ghouls are mostly gone, though.
Blade Master, still a threat. Dark Ranger out of the fight to the left-hand side. Now back in, catches the coil. Lich in trouble. If he moves back to the left-hand side, there's a stasis trap waiting. Nova doesn't do anything to Tauren. Destroyers reign alive, and there's another coil. The Stomp may be a little bit too late, but Happy is down to 38 food. That's nothing.
The heroes, though, you still gotta pay attention to them, but there's potions on the Blade Master to keep him alive. Heal pot and invuln, and the Dark Ranger next in trouble.
There was the last coil. We get the walkers back. We get the Tauren back. He's trying to snipe the walkers now to prevent the revive. Not a fan of Easter, apparently. Blade Master is finally dealing with these death throws. DK is not looking too good. TC is level 5. Lin, the man, is doing it. Are you kidding me? Expo up, 9 food lead. Hero scaling like crazy. And he's still got consumable. Happy is about to be knocked out on map 1.
I think Lin has just done it. The main expires. Happy now. Not gonna have much income anymore. He can sell some buildings, perhaps. I think Happy lost the timing, though, right? He was sitting at 50 for a long time, banking 1,000. The Shade play especially, I think, could have been better. If he had attacked earlier against that Tiny, could have been a different story. But Lin, with what a beautiful strat indeed. Late Master chasing, looking for the next statue kill. You can always rely on the Purge working in statues, so that's something you don't have to worry about. Gets another one and gets out.
Holy smokes. Isn't it ironic that the solution to the undead, which rely on like necromancy, is to just bring units back from the dead?
Yeah, pretty crazy. I guess the Dark Ranger here was not always able to perfectly focus along with the destroyers to try to kill the walkers, because that is the supposed counter that we mentioned earlier. If you kill them with Black Arrow, there's no corpse left and there's no res. But that seemed to fail in a couple of occasions.
How dare you, Happy, to not play perfectly when we are watching. Happy can still sell Book of the Dead, maybe some of the other items to muscle up another army, but Lin is at 60. Lin is mining. His items are looking fantastic. He's getting a shop now. He just has to sit back, and there's no urgency for him. Happy is throwing everything in this attack, including Acolyte.
And he got that double level 5. No matter what hero combo Orc seems to play, the double level 5 is always huge. Of course, very strong for every race with every combo. Especially for Orc, it seems to unlock something special. Level 3 crit and level 3 stomp now, along with more possibility for stun with the Witch Doctors. And there's the epicenter stomp everywhere in the undead army. And this seems to be an easy fight now for them.
Oh, the ethereal form, well done. Yet another stomp. The Lich is not looking too good. The DK is being attacked as well. Only one destroyer. There's no real threat for Happy. He has never faced an army like this before. And he doesn't have the solution here. Last coil before the mana pot. But if the Blade Master is critting 2 times, then things will fall. He can choose his targets now. The cow is level 6. He wants the Lich gone. Attacks it with pretty much everything. Stomp on the DK. Lin, Blade Master, Headhunters, Walker, Witch Doctor, Tauren, and the 1-0.
Yeah. Could that still be Wyvern? Or is this Headhunters? We'll see.
I think could still be both. And that's the great thing about this build then, right? Like Happy will at some point be scouting Headhunters. He didn't really use them for creeping, right? It's still the same harass heavy game that we've seen before. When you go Wyvern. Ah, there's the barracks now. Was about to say the skeleton will then not see it,
thank
so
God.
you can delay it.
Thank God, bro. I don't want to see Wyvern anymore in this matchup.
You know, similar to the Peli rifle, if 1 out of 10 games is that strat, I don't mind. Especially as a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, I'm a fan of...
Oh, Blade?
Oh, got it. It's surrounded though. Oh, wait, walk. Holy, that was close. Calculated, I guess. Did he also? No,
he's got ways to heal up. He doesn't have the best items yet, but I always feel like on Springtime, there are actually a lot of great items to find if you end up creeping the whole map, which I assume we will be.
Yeah, that is kind of similar to how Night of Orc is played at the moment. Not the greatest pace, bit of creepcraft meta right now in many matchups. But I don't mind. Tier 3 Warcraft is exciting. And that's where we're heading right now.
Blade Master did a really good job on the previous map, preventing DK from leveling too hard and get too much out of control. We do have a dust now, but another creep stolen by the Blade. Just a little guy, but every little bit matters. And the DK's low mana already.
Nice
Blade.
arrest.
Does he dare to go in? He killed 1 ghoul also in the early game previous map. That's a deny, but still a ghoul gone.
Now Blade Master has to heal a little bit there as well. Can't be cancelled with the coil. There we go. I was thinking, if this strategy catches on, for Peli Rifle we had the PRU, but how do you call it for the orcs? HSWTBMTCU?
Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Dude, I twisted it 3 times, might have broken it.
Is it gonna be the same? It is looking very similar. TC, Totem, and there's the Lodge. Okay. Lin has found a new strat for the time being. Happy hasn't shown the counter yet. Blade Master with another ghoul kill here. 2 ghouls going down. Honestly, normally this doesn't happen to Happy. If you're just getting harassed by a single Blade Master, normally nothing ever dies. And now he lost 2 ghouls.
I agree. This is a bit problematic here, for sure. He has looked beatable throughout this tournament. He was almost thrown down to the lower bracket in the group stage by Life. He was almost thrown down to the lower bracket in yesterday by Kaho. And this is not only due to like Night Elves playing super good, also a couple of mistakes on Happy's side here and there, missed coils, etc., etc. Not the same Emperor that we had a year ago.
Once more now, Lin gonna pick up creeping with the TC. Only small camps so far. His army indeed is just very tiny. At the moment, he's investing heavily in the late game. Blade Master in the middle, in the back of Happy's base. Getting a 3rd ghoul in the early game would be kind of outrageous for Happy standards.
Not allowed, but Acolyte's taken up the grid for a second. Lich is coming, so no immediate tempo with what? I mean, there's nothing to attack really, right? You can't really intercept the TC. His creeping is slow. Headhunters, it's only 2. It's not worth it to attack into this and delay your Lich creeping. He's trying to though. Maybe a coil lasted. This is something we haven't seen too much before, but it's only a ward. That's a lot of time invested for vision.
What about Banshees, by the way?
Well, there's...
Never mind. You can't possess anymore.
Yeah, there's resistance skin.
Take it back.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Curse. It is quite a strong spell. And Tauren are attacking slow already, and if you take like 1/3 of their attack away, also against the Blade Master. But anti-magic doesn't scale. But what about Necromancers? I mean...
Against Spirit Walkers, I'm a bit concerned. Oh, Lich! Oh, I'll try to Nova, but the Storm prevents it.
Well, yeah, that's right. At least that could be a measure to take the corpses away if you don't want to go Dark Ranger. Cripple always good. Frenzy on a Lich, yeah, probably not worth it. Happy, like let's be honest here. We can theorize as much as possible. This series will be Ghoul Destroyers all the way because it's Happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also trying to think. Okay, if you can't dispel the wards, maybe you don't want to go Destroyers. But then again, dude, Spirit Link is really nice for Destroyers to eat. I think you gotta go Destroyers. Happy way back in the day always used to say Destroyers are his favorite unit. So I feel like there's no way around Destroyers once again. And Destroyers weren't the problem. The problem was the ghouls were getting annihilated.
Yeah.
Between Stomp and Pulverize, they were just getting smashed.
So, since the Destroyers had so much freedom, how about Worms?
I was thinking that as well, but Destros plus Worms is very expensive.
He plays it versus Night Elf. And Lin's army is also expensive.
Alright, Happy is going for a big push. He's trying to strike way earlier, notice, than the previous game. He saw how strong the Orc army was becoming, but indeed it took a long time. Lin right now on the map, creeping, and it's going to cost him certainly 1 burrow. But the cement upgrade is almost done.
Okay, that means Lin is supply blocked at 44. This is the timing adjustments that we talked about in the break. That's the easy adjustment, I'd say, without any huge army switches. Taking away that Voodoo launch is quite bad. We don't have an Orb of Lightning yet. That ruins the chances of a tiny Great Hall as well. I think this works a million times better for Happy than game 1.
Going over right away. We have a silence on the TC, but there is Dispel.
Interesting. Tauren getting some good attacks in. Headhunters also untouched so far. Big problem is the Blade, but maybe with the Taurens on the field, you don't need that Blade Master source of damage.
Ghoul Micro here by Happy. Outstanding so far. He's shown that many times against Night Elf before. Against Night Elf, he would try to prevent taking damage from the AoE from the Panda. And now he's trying to stay consciously away from the Torrents. Because, yeah, those pulverizers are scary.
Goes for the Lodge. Doesn't want to have that free healing. Master Training is up. Doesn't want to run into it. TC being nuked. Uh-oh, there's a silence now. Anything to heal him? Not really. This is where the Shadow Hunter is missing. Coil to end the day. And Lin's super cool, innovative strat is shut down in 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that was the question. What happens when you get pressured heavily, when there's the Frenzy Ghoul attack coming? Can you hold? And at the moment, the answer seems like no. Maybe need earlier reinforced defenses, more aggressive burrows. Imagine there's 2 burrows here in front with peons inside. Could be a different story, but Happy identifying the weakness and almost killing that Blade Master as well.
Problem here, we don't have master training for the walkers, like one of the problems. You can't resurrect the Tauren, and nothing except the blade can really attack the destroyers. Headhunters, yeah, okay, but it's only 3 of them. They fall like flies, and the hype seems to be gone. Blade Master can't even attack because we don't have that Orb of Lightning. Lin holding on to dear life. Supply is looking pretty bad. Inventory is looking pretty bad. Hero, like half of them are benched. That's also pretty bad. Happy should have this in the back.
Yeah, at this point, so far ahead, I wouldn't even mind him sending an Acolyte to the middle. Just expand. Why not? You're completely dominant right now. TC returning. That swung the first map around when the TC, despite the expansion going down, suddenly was able to make the Orc win fights. But this isn't a level 5 TC. It's just a level 2 TC.
Witch Doctor will not come out anymore. More Tauren, but that still doesn't solve the Destroyer problem. A shop only now coming up in the back. Production building gone. Happy gets more reinforcements. Statues from the main. Ghouls from the main. There is cement now, so this will take a bit of time. No spikes, which would be great versus ghouls as well, if you can afford it. Classic 4-on-4 style. But yeah, this... I struggle to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
One nice stomp here maybe, but no, there's the silence. Silence on the TC allows the ghouls to escape, and once again going for the squishy backline. We don't even have Berserkers yet.
Yep.
This is just standard headhunters. Not that big of a threat. But Happy still respecting the Taurens, trying to not stay too close with them, with the frail ghouls.
Only a level 1 stomp also, so counter hero nuke. Not that easy to do. Walkers are coming out, but that's of course the #1 target for destroyers, as there's very little anti-air. Just fly in, why not? Whittle down one production building after the next. The shop takes forever to get up, and this Witch Doctor, unfortunately, a little useless. Now, he's feeding the destroyers as well, thanks to Spirit Link. And maybe one last engagement for Lin to save the day. But it seems like a 1-1 is inevitable.
Happy downloaded the code real quick to try to find the answer to the strat, and it seemed like the cheat code is working very well when it comes to having the right response. Position now for Happy a bit difficult. Ghouls in the back of the base taking out the Voodoo Lounge. They do cancel it. TC still looking for that big stomp. Where are they? He's full mana.
True that. He's been silenced a little bit. But yeah, now the ghouls are all gone. He can only go for the heroes. But no purge still, because Happy shut down the shop over and over again. Destroyers reign supreme. TC level 3. That's probably what he was waiting for. Didn't want to waste any mana on a level 1 stomp, which is not the greatest spell in the game. A DK has no town portal, but I mean, where is the damage? He's trying to go for the Lich now that there's no mana, but critical strike for 80. Looks ridiculous.
Yeah, as long as the blade doesn't have an Orb of Lightning, the Lich can always muhaha laugh in his face, because Frost Armor will completely own him. And Happy does own map 2 and ties it up.
Muhaha. I like. Yeah, so Happy adjustment, relatively easy. Go for the timing. And I'm quite flustered that Lin got so overwhelmed by it. Because if you tinker the strategy and craft this strategy, it feels like that's the obvious obstacle that you have to be prepared for. It's interesting to me that Lin is moving away from Wyvern. I thought they might actually be buffed in this matchup, because they don't give too much experience anymore in comparison to before, and the nerfs weren't that hard, so Maybe it's just a taste kind of thing and he's as tired as we are from Wyvern meta. I'm very curious what this Farseer is doing, because if you go into a last hit battle with Happy, you're gonna lose 99% of the time. If you get one creep steal, it's almost a miracle. But we're not interested in creeps, we're interested in Acolyte.
A player's forces are
Farseer and Wolves in the back of the base. Happy normally a master juggler, as if he was part of the circus for part of his life. So Acolytes here should be safe. Gonna be some lost mining time while ghouls keep creeping in the middle. That's a nice efficiency by Happy as well. He knows the DK alone is enough to deal with this, and the ghouls can keep on leveling in the middle.
Can you imagine Happy as a clown? As a profession?
Dude, worst clown ever.
Doing this little flower water splash trick with the children. It's amazing. Yeah, I'll save that thought for some sad days to hype me up again. But Lin has an amazing timing here. Happy was creeping the Hydra, lots of poison damage, and lots of Headhunter damage as well.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Stole that item, got a kill. Happy is still level 2 first, but that's a ring. And I always feel like you want to have at least one ring on the TC, otherwise he just gets blown up in the late game by the focus fire and the nukes. I wonder how players feel about it these days. Of course, the ring, the small one, is quite a bit weaker nowadays with +3, but it was, I would say, a warranted nerf. I hope they don't feel like it's useless again, because it really isn't, especially on strength heroes.
Yeah, I think the rule of thumb is at the moment you wouldn't buy it anymore. It was also very, very cheap, by the way. But they also won't sell it. So they respect the armor Panda.
Panda, bro. Panda, bro.
Why?
Really good for early tier 2 creeping, certainly. Breath of Fire, great against ghouls in the late game, in theory. Warcraft have been starting to play more Panda again in Orc Mirror, right? Against Headhunters. Also against Pally Rifle. I think they've been playing some Panda second, right?
Yes.
There's been some new friendships being built, perhaps.
Alright, gets greeted with a big mana potion together with Drunken Haze for creeping. Happy will probably be as surprised as we are. That is not standard. The big problem in the past 2 games were destroyers. Panda's doing nothing against destroyers. Against Gargs, of course, but Gargs have also been nerfed in a way. Oh, look at that. Little bit of a snipe against the Makrura. But can't really do much. What is he like? Yeah, I mean, against ghouls, fiends, Panda is awesome. Against destroyers is really bad.
town is under siege.
I am not convinced yet.
He's going double Kodo now. What is going on here, bro? I feel like Panda can make a lot of sense, because if all things go well, then you have mass berserkers to kill the destroyers, which can work. But then the concern, of course, is ghouls. But maybe the Panda solves that problem. But it's not mass berserkers. It is Kodos and raiders, and also no tier 3, by the way.
Yeah.
Panda?
No way. No way. Level up saves him. Calculated.
Jesus.
Yep. Okay. Living on the edge. Living on the edge. But yeah, Kodos. Against fiends, I guess, but there was this one series in the Dolphin Cup where Lin looked quite frustrated and played stuff like Wyvern against Pally Rifle, which, I mean, kind of worked, but it looked ridiculous. Is this really an elaborate strategy, or is he just hitting buttons at this point?
I'm not sure. But Linus once again showing his strategic mastery, his versatile play, which is hard to pin down. It's going to be a tier 2 expansion, which is not something completely revolutionary. We have seen that before, as you mentioned, especially by Lin in the past. But look at Happy. Back of the base, Ziggurat behind the gold mine. He's thinking about Wyvern right now.
Yeah, there is no other reason to put the Ziggurat there, except maybe against Zeppelin drops to wall off a little bit. But he has a wrong read despite scouting, and he sees it now. He's also like, what the hell, man? What is going on? There's no real threat to hero focus, so long term, undead heroes should just dominate, I guess. I don't
The
know.
expo timing is kind of neat because the Panda hits level 3 here. This means Happy realistically shouldn't have a chance to cancel the expo. He could try to run up there with everything he has, Ghouls, Fiends trying to cancel the expo, but it would cost him so much, it would be a bad move most likely. So this is kind of cool. And we see a Crypt Lord 3rd, baby!
Who called that, Mr. Remo Demo? You say you're a little bit rusty, but you still got the foresight down as if you're a Farseer.
Yeah, really cool to see Crypt Lord nowadays way more playable as a 3rd hero because Impale was buffed quite a bit with the mana reduction recently, and also the passive nowadays is actually pretty good. Used to be a joke passive for the longest time, but now 4 armor per point on a tanky hero like the Crypt Lord is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And Happy's looking for that big tier 3 timing once more.
Huh. Yeah, Crypt Lord passive, I mean, there's no damage reflect. If it's up against the Blade Master, that's a whole different deal with the Thorns. But yeah, so far, it's Impale, understandable. We go into the base with Chain Lightning, with Breath of Fire that didn't do too much. A Raider is falling as well. That Kodo might be nuked. Nope, decides to go different route. But a Headhunter fell. I feel like this didn't do anything but buy time.
Yeah, and time is crucial here. That much has to be said for the expansion, which is now almost finished. If you had TP'd a little bit faster, by the way, once you see the TP, you instantly TP, then there's no time for the coil to find the target to kill. So could have saved one Headhunter here if he was a little bit faster. But still, a decent army, one would say, 50 supply. But it's only tier 2. This army can still certainly be overwhelmed by strong under tier 3 with triple hero expansion or no expansion.
Okay, that's the timing then. We have a Frost Armor Crypt Lord. Nice idea. No level 2 Nova yet, but soon. Book of the Dead once again. This time, no Dispel in Lin's army to fight against that. And this expansion has not paid off, and Lin is also not in position.
Yeah, it looks like he got kind of surprised by Happy's movement. He was going for Pillage, maybe trying to go for Hit and Run, but then he left the expansion unattended. Peon's gonna start going down. No income here anymore. Lin just with the tiny supply lead. And that Book of the Dead is quite nice. Breath of Fire wasted just against the Skellies.
And again, no solution against Destroyers. They kill one Headhunter after the next, even without the Dark Ranger. Wyvern disappeared, DK level 4. This seems like a foregone conclusion. Panda did not work out the way Lin expected him to. Chain Lightning against the Ghouls, but there is no rescue. And that's game.
Oh, yeah.
This strategy was atrocious.
Yeah, that was not even remotely close, to be honest. That looked like a ladder game against a random dude.
Farseer Grunt can work in full anticipation of an expansion when you pair it with like a Farseer, with a Fire Lord, and then push. But then also Headhunters do better.
It does also have a really quick tech. That's very nice. You can skip the shop, only one burrow, really quick towards tier 2. He's going to be way ahead of Happy with the tier 2. If he goes Tavern Hero again, which I'm not sure is the best idea, because the Panda wasn't that convincing. But if he was to do it, he would have a huge timing advantage on the second hero.
Yeah, that seems to be the play. Is Happy giving him the opportunity to attack his second base? Creep Route doesn't really give that away. Grunt and Wolves were creeping a little bit. Farseer is harassing. And yeah, tech is looking good. That's, I guess, the only great thing I can say about this opening so far.
It might just be one Grunt into Wyvern as well. Which wouldn't be the most exciting strat of all time, but an understandable one. Orcs have been, after all of our complaining about Wyvern, they have been fairly successful with Mass Wyvern against Undead lately, especially when it's another Undead other than Happy.
Also, Focus has defeated Happy in a best of 3, which is always different than a best of 5 or 7, but that did happen. Clean play by Focus in the Lawlight Cup 6 or 5. We'll see. We'll see. Lin, surprise me, please. We got 100 knock super chat. Thank you very much. Max Love by Wildlive. Awesome.
Yo, thank you very much, Wildlive. What the hell is knock?
Norwegian Crones?
Oh, Mr. Cosmopolitan. Okay.
Well, Mr. Don Dollar is always talking about how filthy rich he is and how many monies he spends on blinds, and this is how I familiarize myself with the Norwegian crown.
All right, Dondo. Well, you can throw some of that money our way. I mean, if it's burning a hole in your pocket, bro, don't let that stop you.
$20,000 blinds, dude. Can you believe it?
What?
Yes! That's what he told me.
Sounds like Casino Royale, dude. What is that?
Dondo. The Norwegians, man. What can we say?
Players
All that oil money.
attack.
So far. We get a Shadowhunter first time this series.
Shadowhunter indeed, double bestiary. This does seem to be a return to the Wyvern play. I want to say also, Lin, really good movement this game, with a Farseer in the right place all the time. Finding creep jacks, finding opportunities also himself to get some experience, and is successfully preventing the level 3 DK, which is a crucial target to hit in the early game.
Whew. Happy. Yeah, we'll be exposed to this. I'm curious if he goes for that Wand of Negation now. His tech would allow it, but then he has to go to the main to get the item, go to the shop. Farseer is creating quite some space. Shadowhunter is not going to a creep camp, though. It's rushing straight across the map. Is there any potential, like without Blade Master, is there potential for big damage here?
Yeah, normally without Blade, especially the heroes seem to be safer against the Orc. Oh, hold on though. Shadowhunter's coming in.
Okay, Coil takes away a big chunk of the Farseer HP, but maybe this is working. Maybe he gets it. A little bit more damage. No TP. Death Knight dead. Who are we to judge the War Chief?
And it almost seemed a bit sloppy. This is the timing when you should certainly be expecting the Shadowhunter to come out earlier than your Lich, obviously. And Happy was just out on the map too long with low HP. That's a very uncharacteristic, unnecessary mistake by Happy.
Players' forces are
Yeah, maybe Shadowhunter wasn't really part of his plan. Because we haven't seen it, like, up until game 4. That's really unusual. Maybe just a little bit of a mistake. Solo experience for the Lich now at the Merc camp. We also go Gargoyles. And this is going to be an interesting dynamic now in regards to the patch. Gargs are slower. Wyvern give less XP. This might work well for Lin. We'll see.
Yeah, speaking of the Wyvern in the new patch, indeed they give less XP. They also do a little bit less damage with Envenom Spears.
Yeah.
How much of a difference has that been?
Minimal, I would say. I mean, you apply it anyway and reapply it anyway, so the debuff stays on. But man, what a snipe by Lin here. You need gargoyles in masses, but you take that away. Surround almost.
Oh,
That was a huge moment. But DK is back with a coil that saves Happy's life. But man, what an ambush on the Gargs.
and I would say also this game is a very clear reminder that you do want to keep in mind that Hex can be dangerous. And after that, after you want to keep in mind that you don't want to let the DK die, look at the inventory right now. I think this is a must-purchase item these days.
Yeah, I agree.
One of Negation against Shadowhunter second, I think, is just too good to give up.
I think he just didn't see the Shadowhunter at all. And yeah, that was a mistake. Lin is throwing a lot of different stuff at Happy, a lot of different builds. And now we contest the middle. Did he check the inventory? Then he saves mana on Hex and rather uses it for Heal Wave. Lich again down to 50%, but plenty of coils on the DK. This shouldn't lead to any kills, but hey, we don't know.
We do have Envenom Spears now. Coil Nova on the Wyvern. DK dropping low on health again. If he gets hexed, he cannot use the item, of course, on himself. He needs to pass the item. He needs to pass it right now, and that he does. No cooldown on this item. Happy needs to be fast. Hex is not ready yet, but the Wyvern, they're coming over the trees.
Oh, he got him, does he? Needs one more hit, maybe? Oh my god, the last spear kills him! Wyvern! Wyvern movement superiority over the tree line. Sometimes Warcraft can be so simple. And for the second time, the Lich is alone. Shadowhunter surrounded. Nice answer by Happy, but Lin finds a way out.
Huge damage though by Lin. He's about to hit double level up. This game seems like it should be unlosable. Up by 20 supply, more or less. And now Shooting Gallery can just pick one target after the next. There's nothing to fear. No coil, no mana for Nova either. I think we're gonna tie things up here.
Yeah, about that Wyvern not the meta anymore, Remo. This game is making a strong case of just simply playing more Wyvern.
Yeah. GG. Alright, Lin playing this well, finding the opportunities, finding the perfect time to strike, to punish the opponent when there was such a window. To be honest though, that was a sloppy game by Happy. If this wasn't Happy playing, we would be perhaps more critical, saying, hey man, there's this hero called the Shadowhunter, you have to be careful. He has Hex, so you don't want to be out on the map on low HP. It's kind of basic, to be honest. Shows us, I guess, that Happy is human after all, and maybe that he's not 100% his sharpest at the moment. Lin tying up the series was a very important point on the previous map. It's now a clean 2-2. If he lost that with a Farseer, would have been doomed task, it seems like. But he's not trusting in the Farseer anymore. We're going back to the Blade Master. Akinos says hello. Has to go for a shop early. You need to have that regen available. And Happy probably wants to play a cleaner game now than he was before. To be honest, his early game Ghoul defense against Blade Master has been not exactly sloppy, but not picture perfect, as we've seen many times before.
Yeah, also sometimes enabled by poison creeps, but that is not the case here. You seem to be a second ahead of me. I'm at 2, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Now should be synced up. Blady creeping away the Murloc. That shall not be interrupted with some solid damage rolls. We got a circlet traded for that TP. Hood. Kinda nice. Lots of plays. And you trap a Ghoul here, but I think Ghoul Force is a little bit overwhelming for just a single Blade Master.
It's always nice to creep this Murloc away. Prevents level 2 from the DK. Ooh, almost lost the second last hit. That would have been, again, been a bit bad, but Happy gets that one. Wants to move on to the next camp. Level 2 is being delayed, and of course the goal here will be to slow down DK creeping as much as possible for the Orc. Looking at Lin's base, by the way, there is no War Mill this time around, so this is pointing towards Wyvern again, as the Blade Master gets another big last hit.
Ooh, not bad, man. 1.4. Also, no pressure on the DK, which now after the item drops is pretty good with that replenishment potion. Couple of skeletons hurt Blade Master, threatening a little bit, slowing things down, buying some seconds. But yeah, no War Mill is indeed interesting. Instead, that shop, as you mentioned, Graveyard coming for Happy at pretty much the perfect time. And this is a stalemate for hopefully an action-packed mid-game.
Looks a lot like Mass Wyvern right now. Happy is sending a Skelly across, trying to scout and find out what's going on. Soon we will get the answer. Happy has to make sure not to give any last hits away here, honestly. There's a coil. He's got the dust. Lin probably knows he's unlikely to get much more here. Oh, but actually gets a Ghoul again. Hold on, never mind.
Yeah.
Blade stuck, low on mana.
Oh, can he get out there? He has Windwalk now. And with that, he's safe. Another chance? No way. You don't want to go into that for Tuska, do you? Risky business, Lin. Risky business. Reminds me of the Knopf scene. No. But it seems
If he gets around it here, that would be really bad. It would be instant level 3 DK, early game loss, playing the rest of the game from behind. So that's not what you want. Blade Master survives, can heal up. And the DK, if he gets all the experience from these 4 camps, he gets level 3. So you can see there's certainly something missing. What has, however, been added is the Wand of Negation. Yes, I think this is now a must to have for Undead mid-game.
I agree. Don't know if he saw the double beastry in the base, if he sent a skeleton or something, or if he's just blindly doing right now. But that's gonna be the counter. If the Blade Master figures out that this is Hex.
Oh. Sick timing.
Ooh,
Wait, surrounded!
Oh, man! With the Wind of Mana stealing, right? With the Wind of Mana stealing, he takes the mana away. Can he survive? 3, 2... Oh, he needs a little bit more. And now he got the Windfork, and now he just moves on with his life. Big chance here for Happy. Was there a coil?
A player's forces are under attack.
I guess use the coil on the ghoul, right, to keep the surround closed.
I see.
If that had a lower cooldown on the wand, could have gotten that kill. Lin dodging some bullets here early on.
That's right. Guess we got to sync again. I'm at 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we do get the classic Shadowhunter creeping. Happy a little late to the party to steal anything. Yep, there we go. Item, a little bit of intelligence for the Shadowhunter, and now he shows the Garg. That was really a big issue game 3. With 2 Gargs, 3 Gargs being sniped right away. Also, of course, the DK losses. Neither of that is happening here, so way better situation for Happy, but also Lin with solid levels. Now he's the one being harassed.
Yeah, if the Coil Nova hits the Wyvern, they could easily die, but quick reaction by Lin, pulling them back right away. Those Wyvern, expensive units. You don't want to lose too easily. Normally, in the past, you could say, when there's only one Garg on the field especially, Undead doesn't really want to be aggressive because that one Garg gets hexed, and then what do? You got no anti-air left. But of course now with the Wand of Negation, it's a different story. Happy aggressive with one Garg, second Garg now coming in. Maybe Lin should add some bats earlier. He's in fact adding one now. But of course also those get one-shot by Coil Nova, so gotta watch out.
Exactly. It's still the classic 4 Wyvern into bad timing. Envenom Spears is coming in earlier, despite the nerf. As I said, you don't really feel that as the damage over time is reapplied. Anyway, it's a little worse versus hero focus, I'd say, against anything else. More or less the same as it was before. But we will then see if the undead heroes can still counter this down the road, or if they give too little XP now. Lin has a big mana potion, no level 3 yet on his side, but he wants to contest the middle.
They're eyeing each other up. There's a Hex, but easy Dispel. In the past, these would have been easy kills. Not so much anymore. Nova is in. Garg's flying in as well. There's a Bad Rider with a good connection.
Yeah, felt like a little bit of a trap, huh? He pulled the Wyvern back, knowing that the bat is coming. And then there was no nuke against it. So if that was planned, super well executed and a great timing for the first bat explosion. And speaking of XP with the Wyvern, also, of course, XP in favor of Lin here, as when the Bad Rider detonates, your opponent doesn't get XP, you do. So I expect high-level Orc heroes and not the craziest undead levels.
Happy sold the Hellstone, by the way, and kept the Talisman of Evasion. Kind of surprising. He might still sell that later on. Finally adds the Alchemist, the third hero for the Acid Bomb. But this is not a bad situation for the Orc, I would say, especially if we really drag out this game. Blade Master level 5, Shadow level 4, that's what Lin would love to get to. And if we get to that point with a strong Blade Master, Alchemist can have a very tough time staying alive.
Oh, and he's a little bit out of position here, being blocked by the creeps. Focused immediately. Is that the end of the Alchemist already? It absolutely is. More and more Gargs are coming in. The Wyvern micro is insane. And Acid Bomb is ticking a little bit, but nothing that can't be out-healed in the beginning. Lin, again, with a phenomenal mid-game. And now there's one Wand of Negation, but he's not using it at the moment. Coil, Nova, Invo Potion, Reveal being used. Here's the next Hex, and now he has the Wand of Negation, and he is dead.
And is that it already? 2 heroes down. Lin wants to go for more. He's got more Hex. There's no Dispel at the moment, apparently. And that's it.
3-2, brother. 3-2. Lin has match points on Happy's map pick. This was pure dominance. And I've been vocal about this quite a bit since the patch. What's the Undead supposed to do against Mass Wyvern? I don't know. Blade Master creeping for now with an early item. Happy does the same. Mirrored creep routes.
This is the way we used to play this. Back before Blizzard starting patching and changing the balance on so many things. Ted Fiend opening against the Orc player. I guess before that even it was a fast Fiend opening. But that was a long, long time ago. Starting off with Claws against Gloves. One thing I think worth mentioning is Happy really didn't have the sickest item drops this game. We didn't have a +20 Lich. We didn't have We had some mana potions, but not the usual crazy amount. Maybe Happy hoping for some better items this time.
True. Same can be said for Lin. We haven't seen a plus 30 Blade Master, but he's just going the simple way again. You know, just go for Acolytes, and Happy's army is rather slow. Now we need to juggle Acolyte kill.
Oh my god.
He has a backup, but it's on the opposite side of the map. And
It was a slow reaction. It took him like 4 seconds to move the Acolyte. That's an eternity for Happy. This is one of the many mistakes I almost want to say he's making today.
Yeah, Ziggurat also killed, so he can't even go for any more units. Fiend is coming now, but yeah, this Blade Master is... Oh, the Acolyte! There's plenty of coils. There should be no way to lose this. But yeah, Happy seems shook.
And now we have an interesting strategy pivoting going on here. Because Lin saw the Fiend play. He doesn't want to go Wyvern. Makes sense. He's going Headhunters now instead. Upon seeing Headhunter play, Happy might pivot back into Ghouls if he finds that to be the correct play.
Yeah,
How much gold was lost, by the way? 160? Okay, it's not a complete disaster, but it was unnecessary.
yeah, and especially the earlier you lose gold, the bigger the effect is, of course. Also, the Ziggurat made it so he couldn't build any more Fiends, which he is staying with. Trying to creep the turtles. Man, this looks like every one of my ladder games for Orc.
Happy selling the TP, boosting his economy a little bit. Maybe that's supposed to finance the Wand of Negation if he wants to go for that again.
Lin is doing an awesome job in buying time. Headhunter's coming, Shadowhunter coming. Then we're kind of back to, what is it? When was AWL? I don't know, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe. Interesting.
A player's forces are under attack.
Happy fast on the way to tier 3. Lich, I suppose, should be coming up next. Staying on 2 Fiends for the time being. Making some more Ghouls now again. As Lin is going tier 3. Happy scouting everything very well with a Skelly across the map.
Fiends are never bad. It's a solid damage output for creeping. We've seen a lot of burrow play to keep them safe, as that was also a bit buffed in research time and resources, or one of them. I'm not too sure anymore. But yeah, Fiends are safer than they were before. DK actually a bit stuck. But yeah, Fiends are back to the rescue. That's a lot of time and space for the Shadowhunter, which Happy is scouted now.
Slow creeping here at the start of the game. Blade Master playing a sacrificial role, but playing it really well. DK still far away from that level up. Also a bit hurt. We've seen a couple of times how dangerous the Hex can be. Normally Happy is the player who never gets blindsided by the Hex, but today has been a bit different.
Right on. And he was a bit broke, so no Wand of Negation yet. Only one charge of Roll of Necromancy as well. Now he's completely out of chargeable items. And Lin is just teching up, going for a Beastery, Kodo, Raiders. Nice addition, both of them. Tier 3, of course, necessary for Berserkers. It's a slow wind up. And Lin feels like, hey, I need some experience on this Blade Master dude. And maybe a little bit of damage as well. Ogre Lord, come with.
Yeah, I think Lin is very satisfied with this opening so far. The big problem that orcs have when they play normal Headhunters and Blade Master is they can't keep up with the early game creeping. The Ghoul creep speed in the early game is actually crazy if left alone. But the Tet Fiend build is a way different story. Look at that. DK still no level 3 in this game so far, certainly looking favorable for Lin.
Yep. And he got Unholy Aura. Super nice, especially when you're up against Fiends. Orb of Corruption online. 5 ghouls, so you were right. Still going Frenzy. And then it must be a Dark Ranger 3rd. And then we'll see where this goes. If we get a TC 3rd by Lin as well, now that he knows what he's facing.
Big creeps, big items for Lin. You got the Unholy Aura already, which is very nice from the red camp. Also a bit buffed since the new patch. And hoping for a big one here at the Drake. Stowy Mask, Quel'Thalas. Many great items here possible.
Happy on the other side. Scroll the Beast, more damage always good. There won't be any Dispel on Lin's side. And he gets the Sobi Mask. Holy! This is a very good inventory. It's not the damage that he wanted, but having mana means more Hex, means more heal waves, more survivability. And especially since we're gonna get a Dark Ranger and you want to keep these Berserkers alive, this is always appreciated. Happy moves towards the middle, only getting the scraps.
But he got the levels finally that he wants. Level 3 DK, level 2 Lich, that's not too bad already. And the Dark Ranger with Black Arrow first. This is still a scary undead timing. Frenzy Ghouls not as many as normal, but still a decent amount. More could be brought perhaps from the main. More will be built, and Happy's beelining it to the Orc main base.
And then we'll see if Lin is in position. At the moment he is not. He got the Berserker upgrade, he got an Invul Potion. He must have seen Happy, I think, or maybe heard him. Yeah, he's already setting the TC to the side. Big reinforcements here. TC could come in as a surprise. We don't have silence yet. Stomp cannot be stopped. But Lin also seems to be a bit unsure. Not sure if that reveal caught the blade. But he's just not interested in creepjacking or defending. Orc forces gathering on the right-hand side.
Importantly, Lin has the cement upgrade, so the burrows are fairly well protected. What the Orc wants to do here is delay as much as you can. Keep creeping. The longer the game goes, the higher the levels get, the more items you collect. Normally, the better it is for the Orc. Blade Master still not that impressive looking, and Happy is ready to tango. Frenzy Ghouls are really, really good, especially when facing low-level heroes. Happy is trying to capitalize on that right here, right now, while getting Destroyer form upgrade.
Super important movement by Lin to go back to the base with the blade and get the orb. So he has a solution against Destroyers. More creeping. Once level 3 on the blade for possibly critical strike level 2 this time. Yep, that's exactly what it is. He can't rebuild units if he loses them in the fight. That's a bit of a liability. Now economy is suffering as well. Happy with a devastating push. But now the first big fight of the game. TC cannot be stopped, as I mentioned. Nuke goes into the Shadow Hunter, stopped by his Stomp. That Berserker will surely struggle and be turned into the Undead. Dark Ranger now with the silence.
DC with a good stomp again. Coda Beast is in, gets a Devour. The Fiend was very hurt already. Question is, who's going to come out on top? Shadowhunter's so hurt, trying to pass an item. Invul Potion saves him at the very last moment.
Super sick fight so far. War Chief is tearing Happy apart. Another ghoul falls. He has nothing left on the field. There's not a single destroyer anymore. There's no ghouls. The door to the winner bracket final for Lin are wide open. If we see a couple of big red numbers, if we take the sustain away, and that's exactly what Lin is doing. Boom, backstab into 1, 2, 3 critical strikes. TC is silenced for the second, but it's not a long time. Need another Hex, need another Stomp, and then this Lich might fall, or even the DK, because we have so much mana left on that DK. Going for the Destroyer. Now, that Stomp didn't hit, but the Destroyer is gone. Happy is down to 3 heroes.
Almost nothing left on the Undead. Lin making the upset happen here, it seems. Good block against the Dark Ranger as well, trying to take her out. Frost Armor is in once more, but mana is so low on Happy. Mana also kind of low on the Orc side, but the Blade Master still doing really good damage with a level 2 crit, finding pick-off after pick-off. Happy might feel he has to get some more kills here to make things even.
Yeah, Happy in dire straits, but do you want to fight against the Fountain? I don't think so. TC is making strides towards level 3 as well. Ghoul deleted by this Blade Master and a couple of Headhunter shots. Lin, of course, at home. Has to rebuild a lot. These burrows don't come for free. That is time for Happy to replenish this army, and he does with statues, trying to creep a little more. He needs high-level heroes, but Lin will so not allow this.
Jack coming in. Happy now getting the level 3. Lich has got 1 Nova just in a little moment. First coil already expended. DK in trouble now. Might be going down here. There's the Purge. Is it a Stomp? Trying to pass an item. Invul Potion. Last second Blade as well. Both first heroes barely alive.
Holy smokes, man. They're dodging each other's bullets like that. Real life depends on it. Lin retreating, licking the wounds, but he should be able to get Fountain control if he wants to. Might need mana as well, as the Shadow Hunter has been depleted. Happy fighting tooth and nails to stay in this winner bracket and force game 7.
And Lin, he got an armor upgrade first for the Berserkers. Since when have Orcs realized that armor is really good against Orb of Corruption? Lin also innovating here, it seems.
Okay. Dust settles. Lich is starting to be quite a beast with the claws. Also, Dark Ranger never to be underestimated. Is there another layer that Lin is willing to go for? For now, it's just shop control. We saw there was so much hero focus. And you want these invul potions. And you want mana on the Shadow Hunter, no risks. But Happy, willing to get more XP. Lin reads the map movement perfectly.
The Zeppelin added now for the Orc army as well. This can stop the Skelly snowball on the Berserkers. Can be a crucial part of the army. Looking for that purge is the Blade Master. Earlier he got an early purge against the Destroyer. Always a nice pick to find. Happy has a tough time engaging here.
Ooh, we have a Zeppelin. This is awesome. Lin has shown this before. Can he do something with it? For now, it's not part of the fight. It's about the dragon. It's about the heroes. TC in a solid situation for ghouls. And the Berserkers are quite protected. Nuke on the blade, but invul potion. Nuke on the cow now! Trying to get out. Happy finds a way. Hero killer level 2.9. Are the floodgates open now for a comeback? Just like yesterday. He's protecting the Blade Master with Zeppelin against the nuke. Genius.
Happy so few units. He never got the Dark Ranger level 3. He doesn't have those important skellies. Lin just seems to have too much. And now also has very good levels. 4 on the first 2 heroes. TC only level 2, I guess, but he's still doing a good job. And Lin in prime position here to move through with a 4-2.
Man, after all these weeks where we thought, did he retire? Is he still taking this seriously? I think this series is the answer. Hell yeah, he does. Great execution, great position. But against Happy, it's not over till we see the GG. Or the GGG. Or how many Gs ever. We got the Nova. We got the Dark Ranger focus. This is quite some skeletons now.
And 2 Berserkers taken out right away, looking for a third. This can always be more undead units, of course, being raised. Mana, though, again, seems to be the problem for Happy. Shadowhunter loaded up. The Zeppelin here helping out. And Happy just has so few units left over.
Zeppelin to protect the heroes against the nuke. Unbelievable plays by Lin. Nobody has done it in this fashion so far. Can backfire, especially over tree lines. Careful, buddy. But he unloads right next to the Destroyer, which is also dead. Happy down to 35, trying to run away. Is there an invul potion? There is. Money is of the issue, though. Can't afford it right now. TC is back, and that might come as a little bit of a surprise. Blade Master, nuke survives, though, with a little bit more healing. Heal wave is there. Invul potion on the DK. Mano y mano. Blade disappears into the shadows. How do you save that DK, though? Lich also very exposed. Catches a coil from downtown. Last bit of mana for that Shadow Hunter. The blade coming back in. Backstab. Nuke. GG. Lin eliminates Happy from the winner bracket final with a 4-2. He is so back.
So back is Lin, finally getting the big win against Happy. That's the first one since last year. 16th of December. DWCC is when it happened the last time, upper bracket final. And here showing once again who is the best orc in the world, I guess. Lin with a great showing today, a bit of experimentation. The Torrents perhaps not perfectly finalized as a strategy. But the Wyvern here coming to play again. The Blade Master play looking great. And if we're completely honest, Happy a bit shaky today.